Welcome to Classic Value Investors and Microcap Explosions. This is Mariusz Skonieczny. As you know, I just came back from Mexico. This is video number 2, talking about my trip to Santo Tomas, Oroco's copper porphyry property. So let's start with how I got there. So as you know, I'm coming from the Midwest area. I flew into Dallas. So that was the first flight. Then from Dallas, I flew into Mexico City. So it kind of goes down. Mexico City, a very cool city. I really enjoyed my time over there. It's really interesting to see the differences in the airports, because in the U.S., both in the Midwest and Dallas, the U.S. airports were kind of empty. Not a lot of people, but when I flew into Mexico City, the airport was absolutely packed, but everyone was wearing masks, so it didn't seem to be an issue. And from Mexico City, so that was Friday last week. Mexico City, we were supposed to go from Mexico City to Los Mochis the same day, but unfortunately the costumes and questionnaires and all of that took so long, and that when I got out of the costumes, Adam from Oroco was waiting for me, and we had to go from one terminal to another, and literally we missed our flight to Los Mochis just by minutes. So we had to change our flight. We stayed in Mexico City for one day. He took me around the city, showed me a few things, so it was kind of cool. And then the next day, which is now Saturday, we took a flight from Mexico City to Los Mochis, which, let's zoom in here. And when I got out of the plane in Los Mochis, it was, huge difference in temperature. It was like the heat just hit me immediately. So from Los Mochis, we were picked up by Oroco, and we drove these roads right here, and it was kind of nice to see a different side of Mexico. We went through El Fuerte. Originally, if we didn't miss our flight, we were going to stay in El Fuerte at a kind of like a cool hotel, apparently a Zorro, with theme of Zorro. But since we missed the flight, we didn't stay in El Fuerte, and we continued on this road to Choix, because Choix is the city where Santo Tomas is located. Okay, and Santo Tomas is located like right here where you see that M. So the location of Santo Tomas is very unique because it's located, like, I think this is like a distance 20 kilometers or something. I mean, it takes some time to get there because you have to go through winding roads, but as far as the distance is far enough from the city of Choix not to disturb the life of the residents, but is close enough that the residents who live here can have a job there when Santo Tomas is in operation. So that's kind of cool. And another huge thing about this location of Santo Tomas is that it's like a perfect location because of the infrastructure is located close to the hydroelectric dam, which creates electricity. And in the next, you will see us visit the hydroelectric dam, and Adam will be talking about it. But also, all the utilities are already there. Roads are there, and also Choix is located. This is the port, right here, Topolobampo port, and we also have a footage in one of the videos about this port where Ian is talking about this port. So the idea is that Santo Tomas is here, right? The ore gets mined, it gets put on a truck, put on the rail, and then on the rail the concentrate travels all the way to the port, and then from the port the concentrate will be sold by traders or whatever into the international copper concentrate market. So the location of Santo Tomas is absolutely A plus, and even Ian was talking about it when I asked him, because he wasn't one of the founders, what made him sold on Santa Tomas, because he was himself skeptical and put it in the box of not being interested. But when he studied it more, he realized that Santa Tomas is special, but the location is really what kind of took him over the edge, because it has a, location. It's an absolutely superior address. So now let's have a look at a map that shows you a little bit closer of Santa Tomas, Choix, and some of the sites that we visited. So here we are again, city of Choix, and we arrived there on Saturday, stayed in a hotel, and Sunday was the day to spend on the property. And you will also have in the coming videos the tour of the city of Choix, because when you go to Google Images and you type it in, you barely get anything, so you don't really get an idea of what the city is about. It's a city of about 10,000 people, and I mean, not huge, but it's busy. It's busy, so it's not like it's a village or anything. It's a nice, sizable city. So this is where we started, and we woke up really in the morning, 6 a.m. I think it was. We left. We started driving towards the property. We didn't visit this. What this is a ranchito property, and this is where you will also get a tour of this. But on the first run, we just passed through it, and then we visited it on the way back. But what this is a building where the core from the drilling will be stored. So if a major or someone interested wants to look at a core, they'll be able to stay in the city of Choix and just a very short distance look at the core, instead of having to go on site and look at the core. Like, for example, this El Bienestar Ranch, this is also something that we visited. This is, you will see old core that is in really bad shape. That's where it's stored. But this is in the mountains. So locating the core facility, which is secured right here, gives you better access and more security than the previous ranch that was used under their prior ownerships. So anyway, on the first day we went from Choix. We didn't stop here yet. We continued on the road in the car all the way around, and really the tour started right here, Buena Vista Camp. This is, again, you will get a tour of the entire camp. This is where you will see kitchen where the camp workers get fed. A second building is like a little hotel where they can stay overnight. So because this takes some time to get to here, so when you're working and you might have people actually staying there in these rooms overnight, very very nice, air conditioned and everything. So this property was there, but it was fully remodeled now that Oroco has more money and it's preparing for the drilling program. So this was completely remodeled, and then again you will see a complete tour of the camp. So anyway, so we arrived at the camp, then we went down to the river, and then we took a boat, and you will see it on the next video because I have the camera. In a boat you go around seeing the nice scenery all the way. This is kind of confusing because you might think this is a road. No, this is all a river. And then we started entering the Santa Tomas property. We went around all the way to here, and then we started to see the Brazil zone on the left, and look how big the Brazil zone is in relation to it's as big as the North zone. So we saw Brazil zone, and again you will see the footage. So we got to about here. We got off the boat, and then we got into the cars. I got into an ATV, and then we drove up the north zone, and we arrived at the geophysics base camp. Again, you will see video footage, Ian talking about. So what this is a 3D IP camp. This is where you will see the Ian talking about the equipment, the 3D IP wires, how it works, and all sorts of things like this. Then we continued driving through the mountains on the roads, and we stopped at the El Bienestar Ranch. This is where we saw the old core, and it's in a pretty bad shape, but I actually didn't think there was any core for historical drilling. But we saw the old core, and then so I took the footage of it. Then we continued to drive, and we arrived at a location where we got this beautiful footage that you already saw. Let's take a look at a different map. So again, 3D IP camp. We started driving here. I forgot to say we passed through a small little village with a few houses, and then again that El Bienestar Ranch where the old core was, and then we got into that lookout where I got this beautiful drone footage from Ryan. I took my own photos, and we were standing right here over a cliff, and we were able to see the south pit, the north pit, and then the Brazil zone right behind that. After we were done, we went back the same route, all the way through here, and then while we were traveling in the north pit, the geos looked at some rocks and talked to me about what all of this meant. Then again, I took more footage of that area, and then we went down back to the boat. And this time, instead of going straight back, we actually went this way towards the Brazil zone, because the guys wanted to show the geos the Brazil zone from the boat. So again, this is where we went on the boat along the coast, and I videotaped the Brazil zone from the river. And then Ryan also got his drone out and took some drone footage from the Brazil zone looking at the north and south pit. So that's also, you're going to be able to see that. And while we were on the boat right here, he also took a footage of the drone kind of flying away, and so showing how our boat was situated in relation to the Brazil zone. After we were done with that, we got on the boat and we came back all the same way we arrived, all the way through these roads. Let's look at this map. Back again, back to the camp. And this is actually when Ubaldo, who is the person in charge in the city of Choix, gave me the tour of the camp. And then while we were going back to the city of Choix, this is when we stopped at the ranchito, and this is when we got a tour of the new facility for the storage of future core that will be drilled, obviously in the next drilling program, how it will be stored, how the security will be there, and just explaining a little bit of the process. Ubaldo was the one that gave me the tour, but Ian was talking about actually Ian and Rory gave a little bit of a presentation of how things are going to happen there. And then we obviously returned to Choix, to take a shower and have some tacos. And one other thing is Oroco has an office in the city of Choix, which we also toured, and so you'll get a tour of the office of Choix. You will get the tour of the entire city. I took a camera and we drive around the city so you can get an idea of what this city is about. But when I arrived there, the thing that I was impressed, I was impressed with a lot of things, but a lot of companies talk about how, oh, their property, they have huge local support, everybody likes it, and it's just a bunch of BS a lot of times. But the support in the city of Choix for the Santo Tomas project is just amazing, and it really is a lot of work of Uboldo, who is I also interviewed, so you will see an interview with him. But it's amazing to have to drive around the city with Uboldo, not just the city but everywhere in the city and the property, how everybody knows Uboldo. I mean, he just hi everywhere. You go to a restaurant and everybody knows Uboldo, and like a lot of mining companies would be jealous to or would want to have someone like Uboldo who takes care of the community and represents Oroco in a very good light. And I heard it from people, and you will have an interview with the employee of Oroco talk about just how important Santa Tomas will be to this city, because in the city of Choix, I mean, the people have jobs, but they don't have the same opportunities that people of larger cities have for higher paying jobs. So like 100% of people in the city of Choix know about Santa Tomas, and they are waiting for this project to move forward. And because once it's in production, I would say that the city of Choix will have to like double in population, because it will require about 2,000 people, 2,000 workers, and obviously a lot of them will work, but I expect there will be people moving even from Los Mochis or El Fuerte to the city of Choix for a job. So the economic impact of Santa Tomas to the city of Choix will be pretty significant. So yeah, so this is it for this video. That just gives you an idea of what we did and what you're going to see in the videos that are going to be released over the days after this one. So thanks for watching.